gonna get into the next topic.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the next topic. Next topic. All right. Well, this one is close to my heart. So, um, we got one. I'm just gonna play it just a second here. It's pretty much just about being a mother, and I have said this several times during our podcast. I think I said this last week, to be honest. Uh, Mothers take full responsibility for good and bad, but with adult kids, we get when they not making the right decisions, we tend to get the um mental emotional abuse from our adult kids. They like to call us out, and I know we're gonna get backlash because people don't want to take accountability for their lives when they are adults. And I feel like children blame the mother quite a bit, especially when the father is absent. I don't hear as much when kids have both parents in the home. I don't hear this. I only hear this when it's single mothers raising their children. And that's from female daughters to sons all the time. We get the blunt end of the stick. If we get double swords, and I'm gonna put this out here. I know that all parents, all mothers weren't good mothers. I know that. That's common sense. We see it every day on the news. We see it every day on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever social media platform you're on. We see it all day long. We know that. We're not talking about those mothers. We're talking about mothers that had to sacrifice, make shit happen, and their adult kids get mad and blame them for all the shit that's going wrong in their life. And then we say our favorite words: if you have so much issues, go see a therapist. And the therapist, they weaponize this new millennium, this new generation, but it's this new generation, this Gen Z, and anything
That new, them 2000 and up.
girl. Well, I'm gonna play this little clip of a woman I seen, and I this was new to me because I hadn't seen nobody really taking our side in a long time. I really hadn't seen anybody standing up for us, so I really was happy, and I started following her. I really was happy with this.
Like their existence revolves around your approval. Like you want your moms to jump through hoops just to be worthy of your basic human decency. Some of y'all have labeled your moms narcissists without a single medical diagnosis, and you use therapy. You weaponize therapy. And I mean, therapy that's supposed to be used for healing, but you use it as a weapon to justify cutting your parents off and treating them poorly. And mostly, this energy is towards moms, all under the guise of being on a healing journey or because of what you decided to take from going to therapy.
Keep your legs closed.
Did you hear that?
Keep your legs closed. That's all I could say.
Oh. The moral of the story, if I knew what I knew now, they wouldn't have to worry about it. What you think about that, You
heard what I said, legs closed and ears open because, raising kids in this type of society is hard. And kids now are starting to blame both parents. I know they saying they ain't blaming the men because they don't want, but they is blaming the men too. But both parents and women has been getting blamed for too now at this point. And a lot of them we should get blamed for some of the dumb shit we did. But I don't agree how these kids nowadays, they go to one therapy class, they learn one word, and now they know everything about mental illness and my mom is this and my dad is that and blah, 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 blah. they use these new terms, narcissists and all these other dumb terms that they come up with that nobody even knew exist 15 years ago. They use all these new terms to justify, like she said, the bad treatment of their parents. They think because you tell them something or you don't agree with them, then that gives them the right to say, well, I'm done. I'm cutting them off. They toxic. Just because you don't agree. You could literally just not agree with them. They could be smoking crack. They could be about to take fentanyl and you could be like, no, don't do that. And they will say you a narcissist. Literally. They will.
I know that because I'm not gonna even get too personal in my shit. I have 6 grown children, and pretty much I have been through the ringer. You got grown children. You got 3. You see and I understand. I'm gonna put it out here like this. I was not a perfect mom. First of all, I had children way too young. Way too young. There is no way if a 30-year-old person says this is hard business, having their first child, and says this is hard, this is a learning curve, this is new, financially stable, still has issues with being a parent, it still is learning how to be a parent, and they're older. Just imagine being young and not even experience life on life's terms and trying to raise another person. So not giving myself a pat on the back. No, I was really dumb and slow. And you know what? Why everybody's making diagnosis, we need to start making diagnosis. This needs to be a diagnosis. Low self-esteem, shame should be a diagnosis for a mental illness. I think low self-esteem can be crippling. It can make you take life. The first person that says, "Oh, you're cute," and you run because your self-esteem is 0 to none. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that should be a diagnosis. While we giving narcissists titles and shit, while people are literally saying that because life is too crazy, you have anxiety and depression. You understand what I'm saying? There are real illnesses that people have completely looked over. Low self-esteem, lack of confidence, all those things are crippling and make you do irrational, unrealistic things and put in your head. One person say they like you and then you give your whole life away. So with that being said, I'm not trying to get off the topic because this topic is deep to me. I know dads get blamed too, but a lot of times dads are absent. They can't find them. They're not accessible because being a single mother of children, and when you get to a point in your life where you finally realize, damn, I might have should have went left, or I might have should have went right and I went left. I should have did this. And you start breaking down because you're healing as a person, as a woman, as a mother, as a sister, as a daughter. You're healing. And then your children, you ain't already fucked them up with your emotional trauma, your childhood trauma, your illness. And I'm not talking about diagnosed illness, just your illness, your lack of being young, your lack of not knowing life on life's terms, your choices, your bad choices, and so but to be a perfect parent, and as humans, that's impossible. It's impossible to be selfless. We are born to be selfish. We are born to
preserve yourself.
Yes, self-preservation. That's exactly self-preservation. So with that being said, a lot of times we miss the mark when we're parents.
And that's why it's important for a family, for a woman and a man to be together and have not just them, but a strong family behind them. Because when you lacking, the grandma might have that energy. The grandpa might have that energy. The father might have that. The aunties might have that. The uncles might be able to give them something. The cousins might be able to give them something. But when it's just solely on a responsibility of the mother and or just the father, or just both of them by themselves, the kid be lacking because again, it's preserving. It's always, everybody is going to be always trying to self. That's just what life is. You come here to learn self. And in the process, you get these experiences in life, which some of the experiences is being a parent.
Yep.
And you make mistakes because you're a human. Like, I was just talking to my daughter and her partner, and I was trying to explain to them, because you're right. When I just thought about that, when you was talking, the millenniums do have some of that, those characteristics, because I was one of those. We started it. Now these kids after us is on 0.1000. We was on 100, and now they on 1,000 with the disrespect. Yeah. When I was a young girl, I didn't listen to shit my mom told me. Nothing. She told me to go right, I would go left. She said the sky was blue, I would say it was purple. And I had that disrespectful spirit, because I didn't realize how important a mother is. And I used to sometimes in my head look at my mom as being not a human being, like some subhuman. And that's not realistic. Your parents, and that's what I was telling my daughter, your mother and her partner, your mother is a human. She was a baby. She was a toddler. She was a teenager. She was a young lady. She was a grown up. She went through all these same stages that you are going through. And we give so many other people passes, our boyfriends, our friends. But when it come down even to men, our fathers and our mothers, we don't give them no grace. If you wasn't 100% perfect, fuck you. And that shit ain't real. I had to learn that my mom was just a human that happened to be my mother. That's all. That's all she was a human that happened to be my mother. That's all it was.
But this is your line. You forgot it. My mother having a human experience. That's what you said. And that's true. That's the problem. Y'all putting us, and I understand we put people on pedestals. We as a mother, you are up here. But in reality, as you become an adult, you realize, oh no, that's just a person. And I don't think this children, our adult children, are realizing as many mistakes as you're making, as this world is spinning, we make just as many. Guess what? You're trailing behind us and are saying, look, I made mistakes. Can you as an adult realize? And if you really have a lot of trauma that you felt like I did, go to counseling. I get it. I tell my kids all the time, if you feel like you got that much resentment towards me, go to therapy. I do say that all the time. That's my one-liner. Go to therapy. I have apologized. I don't expect you to be like, oh, mom, I forgive you. I don't need all of that. I need you to know that I'm a human being. I made mistakes. And right now I'm going to start from right here and try to be a better woman so I can be a better mother, better wife to you, to a better mother to you, a better person in general. Because if I failed at being a mother, I probably wasn't a good person to my damn self. So I'm working on that. Because if I wasn't a good mother, I can guarantee you I wasn't good to myself.
Listening, that's like I wasn't listening. But one day it'll make sense. One day it'll make sense. Even if you don't come to, if you really do the healing, like they say they doing, they really, because I hear that you toxic, blah, 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 blah. Because you telling them something that they don't like. Well, you like with my kids, they had valid reasons to be upset about some of the situations and how I was moving in certain situations. But you're still here though. You still live with me. We still going through the motion. And so now I'm calling you on some shit that you know you shouldn't be doing. And you want to bring up something I did when I was 21. And I'm half of 100 now. Quit it. That's using therapy and these fake names that y'all ain't came up with as an excuse to do bad stuff and then say, well, I did it because this happened to me at 5. I didn't get cookies and you didn't come to the baseball game. So that's why I'm out here, fucking off, not taking shit seriously.
Yeah.
That's what they was doing. They was literally, after we already made amends, we talked about it 120 million times too. I was blue in my face. I'm sorry. And it wasn't no weird stuff. Like you was getting beat, sexual abuse. Now those things are traumatic to kids. But like we said, we talking about moms that was there that just wasn't 100% perfect every day.
Yeah.
But they, that they love you. You know that they love you, because even though my mom wasn't 100% perfect, I know when the chips was down, that was the only person in this world that was gonna have my back. I could have did some dumb shit 2 minutes ago, and if there was some life altering situations, my mama was gonna be the only one that had my back. And that's what we talking about. The moms that, they might have not been perfect, but when the chips fall, they're gonna be the ones that lift you up. Stop using them stupid excuses and them fake words that y'all came up with as a reason to treat your mom like bullshit. I stopped doing it, and that's the problem. As the mom, once you see that they running that game, the parent, father or mother, once you see kids running that type of game on you, you gotta break. You gotta let them go on about their business. Let them go out in the world and figure it out.
And I think that be our problem too. We just keep on
trying to make up.
Fix it. Make up. Keep on trying to fix it. My mom told me, she literally told me at some point she realized she told me one day, she said, you cannot go back and fix nothing that you didn't do right. Not a goddamn thing. So if you out here busting your ass for grown people and they still don't respect what you doing or what's going on, and they still not getting it, and they dangling all your discretions, and
you gotta let them go.
Mom was like, cut them off now. Cut them off.
You gotta let them go.
Cut them off. Cut them off.
I'm not saying you can't be there for them, but I'm not about to sit up here and keep getting called out my name. I'm not gonna keep on having you disrespect me. I'm not gonna keep on having you manipulate the situation, because like I said, some shit I did in 2003 and it's 15, 16, 17 years later. No, we're not about to do that. We're not about to do that. You just gonna have to, I'm gonna have to love you from a distance. And if you gonna have to love me from a distance, then I'm okay with that too. But if you need me, I'm here.
Yeah. I'm gonna let the choice be yours.